Everyone tells you to act confident in an interview, but is that really the best advice? Confidence does matter. Research in neuroscience and psychology shows it affects how you think, speak, and show up. But the way most people try to act confident often backfires. You might leave an interview feeling great, then later realize you didn't connect with the interviewer the way you hoped. That's a more powerful way than just pretending to be confident. It's about the way you think about yourself in that room. In psychology, this is sometimes described as an identity shift. When your self-concept lines up with the role, your body language, tone, and answers naturally change. And hiring managers notice that within minutes. In this video, I'll walk you through a simple 4-step method to use identity shifting in your job interview. But before this, you need to know the weakness of traditional job interview advice. The broken advice. Let me clear up the loophole in the traditional job interview advice. Confidence really matters in a job interview, but there's a reason you don't get true confidence while you're interviewing. Your brain doesn't just respond to what you tell it, like be confident. It also responds to what it has evidence for. Think about trying to believe in a job interview for a sales executive role. You are a good sales executive without ever working in a sales force of a company, working with a distribution channel, or providing after-sales service to clients. But when a hiring manager realizes after you get training from that specific company, then you would not add proper value for the company, then he makes a negative decision about you. The problem isn't that you had a lack of confidence while interviewing. The problem is that confidence without evidence is fragile, and belief is only the beginning. Your identity needs more than that. It becomes convincing through accumulated evidence. It's like you are working to become someone who can actually show real results for the company. And that leads to the question almost everyone gets wrong. What are hiring managers really looking at when they decide who gets the job? It's not just confidence, and it's not just experience. Let me show you what they are really looking for. The real mechanism. Here's what's really happening, and once you understand it, you'll never look at interviews the same way again. Hiring managers aren't just hiring a candidate. That word can actually make you prepared the wrong way. A candidate sounds like someone just sitting there, waiting for others to judge them. But that's not how hiring decisions are made. The person interviewing you isn't only asking, does this person have the right qualifications? Plenty of qualified people never get the job. What they're really asking is something more natural. Can I already picture the person working with us and doing good? That's the real filter. During the interview, they're quietly asking themselves, does this feel like I'm talking to a stranger? Or does it feel like I'm talking to someone who already fits into our team? That question often decides who gets hired. So the real goal is to close the gap between how you present yourself today and how someone in your applied role actually acts, behaves, speaks, and thinks every day. Not what's written in the job description, but how real people in that role act at work right now. I'm going to give this idea a name, the evidence ladder. There are 4 steps in this evidence ladder. Each step on this ladder is one piece of real, believable proof that moves you from someone applying for the job to someone who already belongs in the job. Let's start with step 1. Step 1, the identity audit. Firstly, you need to ask yourself, what does someone who already has this job actually think, say, and do during a normal workday? For example, you want to get a job as a sales executive. So here's what you first need to do if you have no previous working experience in a sales executive role. Find 2 to 3 people who are already working as sales executives. Talk with them face to face or online. Read their LinkedIn profile and posts. Watch videos about acquiring sales expertise, and purchase related books and read. While meeting people who are working as sales executives, ask them everything. I mean about job interviews, their working process, and challenges. A to Z. Feel it as if you are part of that profession. I used sales executives as an example. Do the same for your desired profession. This is your map. Once you know where the real gap is between you and them, the next steps will show you exactly how to close it. Step 2. Micro-proof actions. Identity shifting is not about knowing and feeling. A very important part of it is taking action. For example, if you want to get a job in product management, choose a product you use often in real life. Find one frustrating part of that product as a user. Write a one-page breakdown explaining the problem and suggest a better solution. Now you have something real. You can add it to your portfolio or talk about it in an interview. If you are trying to get into a data analytics job, download data that's free for anyone to use. Discover an interesting insight. Add it to your portfolio and talk about it in your interview. The goal is simply to create proof to yourself and the interviewer that you can do the work. Besides, before facing the interview of a specific company, know as much as possible about that company, their work process, their production process, and their marketing process. I mean as much as possible. Use online or offline sources. And when you show up for the interview, this knowledge will give you an extra boost and true confidence. Besides, it will show up in your body language, and experienced interviewers will feel it. Not only that, this will give you an advantage because more or less all candidates' LinkedIn profiles or resumes are almost the same. And that leads us to the next step. Step 3. Language rewiring. The hard truth is, many job seekers' words sound uncertain or full of hesitation while they are interviewing. Without realizing it, they make themselves sound like outsiders, even when they have acquired a lot of knowledge and skills about this role. Let's look at a few real examples. They say, I am interested in getting the job as product management officer and have been learning about it. Instead, they should say, I think about what's best for the product, just like a product leader would. For example, I recently had a close look at X product's first-time user experience, identified where users were losing interest, and proposed a solution to that company through email. Can you hear the difference? The first version talks about what the person wants to do. The second shows what they're already doing. Here's another one. You probably say, I don't have direct experience in this role, but I'm a fast learner and I'm really passionate about this field. Instead, say, over the last month, I have been spending my time analyzing this role and how to add value through this role to the company. It would be better if you prepared a written document beforehand on this and showed it while interviewing. In every example, the language changes from hoping to doing. Instead of saying, I want to, the person says, this is what I already do. That one small change can completely change how someone sees you. In just a couple of minutes, your words can make you sound like an applicant who is asking for a chance, or someone who is already part of the role. And that leads us to step 4. Step 4. The interview reframe. Remember what I said at the beginning of this video. Just trying to act confident usually doesn't work because your brain knows that confidence isn't real and it shows up in front of others. But by the time you walk into the interview after following the steps I told you already, you are not pretending to be confident anymore. You are simply showing the confidence you have already built. So when the interviewer asks something like, tell me about you and why you think you were qualified for this post, then you can talk about the real research you did, the real work you did over the past few weeks, and you are naturally speaking like someone who's already part of the role, not someone who's just hoping to get in. At that point, confidence doesn't feel like an act. It feels natural because you are talking about things after giving evidence to your brain, and that feels completely different from trying to sound confident. So, in this way, you are actually creating real confidence and qualifying yourself for this role. And confidence built on real evidence can handle tough questions. So follow that 4-step method and get your desired job. And don't forget to watch another very helpful video on the screen. Identity shifting, the cheat code to success.